All right, guys. Welcome to Solve for X podcast episode 2. Número dos. Wait, my
Número
dad's
dos.
with a suit. My dad's with a suit. I didn't get the memo.
You didn't get
Was
the
I
memo?
supposed? No, was I supposed to wear a suit?
Yeah, we're supposed to wear a suit. This is a very professional channel that we are running, son. So next time, wear your suit. Actually, it's a funny story to that. Why I'm wearing a suit today. You know what? The funny thing is this, right? We recorded our first episode, and then my sister actually viewed the video, and she liked everything that she saw and whatnot. And and we talked later on about the content. But then one of the things that you say, Ron, everything looks good, the content. I don't know much about crypto. I didn't know what you mean by a portfolio. I don't know how to get crypto. I have no idea what to do, but I like the content. It kind of woke me up of what I want to do in the future with crypto and everything that you guys were saying. And they say, but wanting to critique you, he said, you need to look more professional because your t-shirt was a little bit wrinkled. And I said, that's fine. I'm going to be professional. So here I am with a suit and a tie. But anyway, guys, I do be myself. Take my suit off.
I
My
don't
sister
say.
got her
I
man.
don't.
My sister got her moment of fame. Tie is going off. All
Throw,
right,
throw the
sister. Hopefully you're happy. Oops,
throw the
the
throw
audio.
the feedback. Throw
Anyway,
the feedback. Throw the feedback out the window.
yeah, but that was a positive feedback. So hopefully I got a better T-shirt today and stuff. More professional with a little emblem in there. I'm not getting paid by that company yet, so I'm not going to mention the name. But hopefully my sister is happy for the 2 seconds of the video with a suit.
Now this is the dad I know. At first I was like, wait, hang on, this is not even fair. Let me let me go get my shoes.
You didn't get the memo, right?
Whatever points I was gonna say was gonna be null and void after you talk.
Right. Yeah, that was so funny. But,
All
but
right.
that was so hilarious when she told me that.
So I know pre-podcast conversation, we got into a lot of things, and we had four things that we wanted to go over.
Right.
So the fourth thing, just so that people know, and obviously we'll have timestamps. We did get feedback offline about it, so we went back to our old video, our first podcast, and we put timestamps on there to just make it a little bit easier for you to, if you started this podcast, you didn't necessarily finish it all in one sitting, you're able to go back and pick up from where you left off a little easier by looking at the titles. So we're really, want to get the community feedback, whatever the feedback is, good or bad, and that way we know to do more or less of something. So we really appreciate that feedback. So first topic was one that came from my dad, and his idea was to go around and talk to people that we know, whether it's family, colleagues, whether he's hiking or I'm walking in my commute back home here in Chicago, just throughout the day, right? Asking people, something simple, right? Hey, what's your thoughts on crypto? Right? Do you know what crypto is? What's your opinion on it? And just get like a brief, couple sentence sentiment, real world sentiment survey of what, the general public is, feeling towards crypto. So that's gonna be the first topic. And then we're going to go into like the recent downturn. So crypto there's been blood in the streets for sure. Right?
Especially after our first podcast where everything was up, the portfolio was $93,000 for you. My portfolio was up to about 68%, and today's at 26%. Still profit, so we're still good. But yeah, go ahead.
And it wasn't my portfolio. It was just that one asset that was 93. When I looked at it, when I looked at it, it went down to like 71 or something. I was like, man, I'm never doing another podcast again if this is the result.
So actually, I played very good, because we went from one extreme. Yeah, we went from one extreme. Yeah.
Right, and by the end, whenever I looked at it again, it reached almost 93 again, and then now it's back down to the 70s, like high 70s. So if you are new to crypto, welcome, where you can earn money and lose money like nobody's business. So you have to have diamond hands.
On paper, remember, on paper, because you never lose the money until you decide to lose your own money and play, and click on the trigger. But we talk about it later. But I thought I mentioned that.
I'm so proud.
I know, right? No, but I thought I mentioned that right now because the first episode, it was so funny because it happened to be when crypto was going to the moon, right? And we we're
Right.
talking about
Right.
Dogecoin, all that stuff. And now you want to go over, like you just said, part of this episode to go to the opposite side. So I think you came right on time, if you ask me. So, yep.
Right. Yeah, we're not a moon channel. You know, we're not a straight rocket ship to the moon. It's a straight line. You're gonna get rich tomorrow kind of channel. We're gonna give you the real deal. The third topic is Turkey potentially banning crypto at the end of this month, and what our thoughts are on that, as well as the rumor that the U.S. Treasury is thinking of placing fines or restrictions or some kind of penalty towards financial institutions for money laundering via crypto. So we'll get into a little bit of that and our thoughts on that. And then we'll end the podcast with a little bit of an importance on Bitcoin, a little bit more about the history, why, what is it trying to solve? And it will actually be a perfect segue into, again, one of my dad's great ideas, which is bringing my aunt, his sister, online, and she's brand new to crypto, and we're basically gonna doing it live with no script, walk her from knowing absolutely nothing to it to hopefully getting her to some kind of understanding as to the importance and what it could be in the future. So that beginner level is the goal for that one. So that's, if it's not the next podcast, it'll be the podcast after that, whenever we can get the scheduling done right for all three of us to be online. So there's a lot to look forward to in the next couple podcasts. But that's the rundown for today. So let's I'll kick it over to you, Daddy. Yeah, to share with us and share with the audience a little bit of what the sentiment is on the street with your friends, colleagues, and people that you ran into.
Right. Yeah. Kind of pretty good in the sense that, as soon as we release our first episode, of course, my sister called me. That's my sister. She's stationed in Korea with her husband. And that's my son's aunt, the one that we're going to be doing, hopefully, that live interview with her and walk her through the process of crypto, because the sentiment for her was like, I love what you guys saying, but what is crypto? Again, what you talk about Dogecoin? How do I find out what it really is about it? How do I open an account? The ins and out of it. So a little bit scary and concerned, but she definitely would like to find out more about it and get into it. And then, of course, my other brother that I have, and I have a lot of brothers and two sisters. Right now, he's out of town and stuff. And he actually called me and said, he actually didn't call me to tell me anything about the video. He just called me and said, Ron, how do I establish the Binance account? They're asking me for this information. They asked me for that information. Is that true? Is that like legal? I said, yeah, it's legal. That's for your security. They're asking you for this information. They're asking for that information. Of course, social security, your address. And because they want to make sure that that is you. You don't want nobody out there to establish your own account. So they want to be very strict about it. So the sentiment in his case that he's already in it. He's already establishing an account. So I had to kind of like put the brakes a little bit on him, say, hey, you establish an account and don't open nothing yet, don't buy anything yet. And the funny thing, actually, now that I remember, he even said to me that in the school that he's in his military school right now. He should be back very soon. But anyway, he said, yeah, I just heard some of my friends talking about Ishmael.
Oh, Isha. Oh, okay.
Yeah, one Ishmael. Yeah, he said, yeah. I get the names confused when you guys, so many brothers and sisters, you call everybody different names. But no, Ishmael, he's in training right now. But anyway, yeah. There's a lot of things you don't know about your own family, son. I'm not gonna go and put a dirty clothes in here. What do you call it? Dirty laundry. But yeah, you do have an uncle that is named Ishmael.
Hey, don't take
he's
it
out of town. And you do have a niece. You have a new a cousin that you didn't know about that she's 2 years old. But let's not talk about that and argue about that.
Actually, that was funny. Pre-podcast, I found out I had a niece from my uncle. Hey, that's the thing about the podcast, right? I mean, that was a real conversation that we would have when we weren't recording. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So now, not only that you know that, but the whole world know that you have another cousin, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny that. So anyway, my brother, he said that Ishmael, the one that tried to is opening a Binance account to start buying crypto. He also said that his classmates were also talking about buying crypto. And so that's when he kind of really, plus listening to the podcast, kind of opened up his interest in doing it. And then that's when I told, I said, look, hold the brakes, because I want you to know things in crypto. It's not like just go and buy it. Like I might have said that in the first episode, because if you buy it now and you're ready to hold it for 10 years or 5 years, 2 years, 3 years in a bull market, you're good to go. But if you just go buy it for right now and you do not understand what's going on in the market, you might be buying at the wrong time versus buying it on the dip. So I spent maybe about 20 minutes or 30 minutes just walking him through the process that, yes, this is how you open the account. Yes, this is what this means. Yes, you can go to this website to find out more about these Bitcoin, crypto coins, exactly who the founders are, what does that coin actually does, the ranking of that coin. So because you don't need to be in a rush, but go ahead and open the account. Maybe I'm jumping ahead, but I told him to fund the account with the money, so when the right time comes, you're ready to go. So anyway, that was kind of like the sentiment that I got from them. And oh yeah, the last one I want to share real quickly. When I went hiking, I did a pre-recording of a little video for our next episode. And one of the ladies out there that hikes, and she's like, "Wow, I saw you 1 minute, then all of a sudden you disappeared." I said, "I know, I was just recording this little video for YouTube channel that my son and I have now." And so I showed it to her, and she liked the little video, and not to say that I'm good at it, but she said, "Wow, that's very good." The video that you just recorded for what 10 seconds. But anyway, to make the story short, so she showed some interest on the subject that we are going to be covering, and I told it's not going to be only about crypto. Many of the subjects that we're going to be bringing up, whether it's housing, who knows? I'm not going to even mention the other ones right now. One that I want to mention, but I'm quite sure my son will kill me. So we're going to keep that in reserve for right now.
I blew your mind for your podcast.
Yeah, that's a future. But anyway, so I did share with her the video. She's going to be reviewing it, and obviously, I think that hopefully, she will find some value in regards to that. She knows that I do trading, far as regular stock trading. I do options. Her and one of her friends that does hiking. But that's all they know. We normally don't ask too many personal questions about the stuff. But that's kind of like at least my experience. So what about you, Ron?
So the sentiment was pretty positive. Then it seems like the exuberance is still there from your everyday people. Like they're like, man, I want to get in. How do I get in? Right? Like they're eager to learn and throw something in right into the market. It seems like. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. One more, if you don't mind. And I did mention it, I guess, in the previous, one of the other guys that in the school that I went, that I mentioned, HVAC school. So I also sent in the video to review it. I love the fact that he was already buying some of these crypto coins, but hopefully now he has all the choices on how to buy it, the best way to buy it, and eventually, put him already ideas in their mind that when you buy crypto, let's say on Robinhood, it's really not your crypto, sort of like. And in case you needed to move to another country because you're traveling, or because let's say not that I'm talking bad about Robinhood, but let's say Robinhood's having some technical difficulties for whatever it is in that moment in time. But if you are able to capture your crypto in some hardcore wallet, that's what you call it, right, Ronald? Because I'm trying to learn all that stuff myself, right? So wallet,
hardware wallet.
Hardware wallets. In which one we'll tell you later on what that means. But once that I was telling those little things,
I'm still gonna be listening to you, but I'm gonna go get it, and I'm gonna get out of this position that I am, because my setup is kind of crazy. But I'm gonna listen to you. You keep talking to the audience. I'm gonna show you what the hardware wallet looks like.
Okay, good. So while you're listening, the audience is listening. So anyway, so with him, I like the fact that he was already involved in crypto, but only very limited amount of it, because Robinhood only have about 6 or 7 coins that you can buy. You cannot buy the whole everything that is out there. So, but also the fact of this hard wallet, because eventually, if Binance, locks up or some other places where you buy the crypto and you learn to put it in this hard wallet. So whenever this other side is down, you actually can take the hard wallet and go to another side and either buy or redeem it. Or if you go out of the country, take that wallet with you, you are able to also what they call it, use that crypto. For example, in Venezuela, those people that were having issues in Venezuela years ago, and they left the country, and they took their crypto in their hard wallets that my son is going to correct me again and tell you about it, they will be sitting pretty because they didn't have to suffer as far as some of the money being in that crypto assets. But so anyway, that's the point I was going to make. It was that I was telling my friend all this stuff about it. So my other experience with the fact that we're doing this podcast and allowing me to talk to people that already were in the crypto world, and they're trying to hopefully make it better for them. You know, things that they didn't know about it, that I didn't know about it, that I just learned a few months ago at the beginning of this year, actually.
Right. You said a couple things that I wanted to kind of like elaborate on before I go into my sentiment, because my sentiment was actually a little opposite. But yeah, so before I go into that, for the audience to know, because I know we got a lot of crypto newbies. I mean, our goal is to attract people that aren't into crypto to get into it, right? If you're having financial difficulties and you're Googling how to make money, crypto's gonna come up, right? But it's not all, you know, easy to do and just, oh, I'm going to become rich overnight. So there's steps to this, right? There's levels to this game. But one of the things is, and hopefully the camera is good enough to see it, so you had the Ledger wallet. There's a little bit of the angle. So yeah, so the Ledger wallet, this is one of the hardware wallets that is very popular to get, but it's basically it's a good way for you to hold your crypto. Basically, the term that we use in the crypto world is that if you're leaving your money on exchange, it's not your crypto, because not your keys, meaning not your private keys, not your passwords to get in, like a 12 to 24 word phrase that gives you access to your crypto. You don't have that when you leave your assets on the exchange. You have that when you put it in the wallet. So if the exchange goes down, this is like a key for you to enter the blockchain. And with these keys, it's truly your crypto. So if something happens to Coinbase, something happens to Binance, Bittrex, they have a service outage, but your crypto's on this, right? Then you're able to move it to another exchange, right? When you mentioned Robinhood, even if you bought Dogecoin on it when it was hot, right? You can't withdraw it to another exchange using Robinhood, using PayPal. You can't do that because you don't own the crypto. I think even Cash App now you can buy like certain cryptos on there, but you don't own it. You own the paper version of it, right? So the exchanges that are in the description below, those are you truly buying it from a crypto exchange where you have the ability to send it to a hardware wallet like this. They got a whole bunch of different ones, but this is one of probably the most popular one. There's another one that's the second most popular one, which is probably the Trezor, Trezor. And those, that's another good one. And then for like heavy duty stuff where I keep real Bitcoin on, is this one. So the BC Vault. So you won't see this one around everywhere, but this is truly like a vault for your crypto. So this was a little easier to use for your first hardware wallet.
Yeah. And they don't need to go, in my opinion, they don't need to go right now and go rush to buy one. You know, learn first the process of the whole crypto thing. And maybe when we do the next episode with my sister, Kathy, and we're working through the whole process, if you want, we can go over it again, Ronald, with the process of those
absolutely
right there. That way, help them exactly how to get it, give you the links and things like that, and make it more easy, right. I guess.
And I don't recommend the hardware wallets for everyone. You know, sometimes it's good to keep it on exchange. If you need to call customer support, you know, they're there to help you out, right? Here you are your own bank, right? So there's pluses and minuses to every decision that you make. When there's a lot of freedom, comes a lot of responsibility, right? And when you have a lot of security, then you have less freedom, right? So you have to understand that I keep money on exchange. I keep money in these kind of wallets on something that we call hot wallets, which is basically things that a wallet that's connected to the internet at all times. So we'll dive into those kind of things as you know, future podcasts keep coming. And yeah, so we'll go way more into that. But those are some of the options that's out in the market that you can use. Then the other thing you mentioned was about like not like the word that we use in crypto is not FOMOing in, right? And what FOMO stands for, FOMO, you got it. Fear of missing out. Yep. So never feel like, if you feel like, man, I gotta go put money into this coin because it's going skyrocket, or Elon is, tweeting this, or someone's tweeting that, or whatever the case is, right? Wall Street Bets is, gonna come into here and pump this market up. Someone's always gonna lose on the other end, right?
That's
like
what I
whenever you're
felt.
buying.
Yeah, that's what I felt when my brother Ishmael was telling me that he heard his friends talking about let's buy crypto and all stuff. Let's
Right,
get back into buy crypto because now they're like, oh man, we don't want to miss it. Let's get it now. And
right.
that's a good example right there.
And you can make money, so you'll never see us say, hey, 100% don't do that, because we are not financial advisors, even though financial advisors don't know anything about this space. But we are not financial advisors. So we're not giving you specific financial advice or transactional advice. We are giving you concepts and how we would dissect something. I would never get into a coin that I feel like I need to hurry up to get into. Okay. That's one of my personal indicators that I use to go like, hang on, it's too hot. Let me go find something that's not. Right. So that's something that I wanted to throw out there that it like rung a bell. Like, man, the term is FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And the last thing is the first thing that you mentioned was like being kind of like fearful of putting like your social on these platforms, like even the ones that we have in the description down below. The exchange that we put down below, they're safe for you to use as a U.S. citizen. And as a U.S. citizen, and these exchanges are compliant, you have to do something called KYC. And KYC is something that you even do at your normal bank, your everyday financial institution, whether it's Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, Truist. It does online banks, Ally Bank, Chime, Discover, Amex, all of them. You have some level of KYC, and KYC stands for Know Your Customer, right? So every financial institution in the U.S. has to know a certain level of information about who they're letting transact on their platform. So that's why you have to scan your driver's license, maybe even provide a utility bill. I've seen some even take a picture of your face. What's the other one? Social security number on there. Put your address on there. It's like opening up a bank account at the end of the day. But think about it, you're doing it remotely, right? So
yeah, that's a good
that's
one
some of the
because
things.
that's a good one because even my brother, he told me, told me about the social security, his home address, and I told him that I believe Binance or one of those, it actually will ask you to take to take a photo with the computer screen or either your phone or your face and your driver's license. And I told it to me, that's actually very secure because nowadays, if everybody remembers Equifax, I think the Equifax, the credit thing, when they were hacked, millions of people in the United States were hacked. The Social Security was hacked. Your home address was hacked. Your birthday, all kinds of stuff were hacked. So imagine they already had that stuff. So in here, let's say Binance is asking you for that information, right, to establish your account. But now they're asking you for your face and your what they call it, your actually driver's license photo. So somebody is trying to create an account for you, and they're going to ask them for that information. They cannot duplicate that easy, your face and your driver's license. So it's more security of it. And not to forget later on, whenever we do the video with my sister, hopefully we remember for you, Ronald, to show them how to do the authentication with Google authentication. Where you got that extra level of security also.
And honestly, like when I'm thinking about it, there'll probably be multiple series, and whether we have my aunt Kathy on there, we maybe bring someone else, but however it works, it'll be many podcasts because there's so much to learn, right? This space is brand new and it's far and wide, right? So there's a lot to learn. Google Authenticator being one of them. What was the other thing I was going to say with that? With the KYC.
Don't forget to take your fish oil, your memory loss.
I know, right? The other thing was, if you in the U.S., you're going to be stricter because of the regulation, right? In other countries, it's true. You can get on other exchanges with no ID whatsoever. It's like it's fast. no authentication process. I was up and running in minutes. But some of those exchanges are not fiat based at all, right? You already have crypto somewhere and you're sending it to it. So you're not necessarily linking your bank account to it. But just wanted you guys to know that in case you run into an exchange that some other YouTubers talking about, you're like, man, I didn't have to do all this, you know. But what you run the risk that they find out you're in the US, you know, a couple months after trading, and then they lock up your funds. So the exchanges that we are letting you know below are ones that we use because we live in the US. So those are the, you know, quote unquote safer ones because they have some kind of regulatory body that they have to you know, speak to or get held accountable to. Yeah, so those were the things. But I like the sentiment that you had because I had the opposite.
Really? I cannot wait to hear your stories.
Yeah, most people were like, I don't understand crypto. I don't really want to get in it. You know, it's a scam. I was getting the opposite.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, and mind you, you know, it was supposed to be short and sweet, and I didn't even know a lot of these people, right? So it's not like I was gonna sit there on the street and convince them. You know, I just put a pulse to the general market, and the positive side of
You know
things.
what it is, though, right?
Go ahead.
It's not here. The face, you know, they look at me, the maturity. They saw me with my suit on, and they're like, "Hey, I can trust that guy."
Hey, I was afterward. I was wearing a suit.
Oh, that's right. You come from your bank, right? Because you work at a bank.
Right.
Oh,
But yeah, so yeah, I think. But then when I think about it, it tells me just how new this space really is, right? Because being in the world in crypto or being in anything, right? Like if you're a tennis player and you're in that space, you think everybody knows the famous tennis player and what happened in that match and who won by what or some awesome play, right? Like you get really into like that space where it's weird that someone doesn't know something about that sport or that current event that happened in that space, right? And here sometimes we can be so close to the game of crypto that we feel like everyone knows what's going on. And it was kind of eye-opening. It reopened my eyes to take a step back and just realize how many people don't know anything about crypto, right? And
or stocks.
Or stocks. I mean, there was a stat which, you know, don't quote me because I don't have it in front of me, right? But like, there's half of Americans don't even own a stock. You know, like it's a lot of people that are not invested in the market, right? So imagine crypto, something as new as crypto, it's going to be even smaller, right? So, you know, when I think about it, I was like, you know, should I really be surprised about how many people didn't know what crypto was, thought it was a scam or something like that? It was like, oh yeah, this is about right now that I think about it, you know. So that was actually my sentiment. I had a couple people say to me like, you know, what's the point of Bitcoin? I hear it's like used for crime, you know, like I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS. And I'm like, I was like, no way. Like, okay, is there not, you know, and I was about to go into it. But I was like, I just had to hold my tongue, right? I was like, is there not crime being done with the US dollar, with the euro, you know, with the yuan, you know, or yen? Like, I mean, is there not, right? There's tons of it. So that's something that, you know, we could definitely get into, and we're going to get into it in the other things. But that was actually my something. I had nobody say Bitcoin to the moon, or no, I had no true believers. I ran into no true believers. I literally finished my commute home and I was like, nobody gets it.
Yeah.
No, we're still weird.
Trust me, I'm not lying. I mean, when I was told that, I'm really not lying. I mean, my friends, they asked me for that stuff, and I'm not, you know, texting them all those links, you know, and stuff, you know, for all those, you know, for all those things that I just mentioned to you.
Right.
You know, look, this one right here. I don't know if you can see it. One of my friends, and I said, you probably don't see it. One of his friends, and I sent the link for Binance. you
Yeah,
know.
see, I saw him
So
say, "Thanks, bro."
yeah, what you said, bro? I don't know if
He,
are you able
he
to
said,
read it?
"Thanks." Yeah, he said, "Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate it." Yep.
yeah. Because they asking me for the things, so I'm sending the links for Binance or whatever is easier for them. So I'm not surprised that you didn't get. Hey, but that's a good thing. It's good to know both sides. You got the people, like in my experience right now, at least 3 to 4 since we launched this video, that are interested in getting in it. Some of them like right now, and you have to put the brakes on them. Some
Right.
of them like you're gonna find those guys that the things have to do with drugs and whatnot. And even though I think it was my sister that she asked me about something like about drugs and she's in Korea right now, and
Silk
I told her,
Road.
huh?
Silk Road.
Yeah. And so anyway, she said to me, and I said, no, but think about it. I said, remember when the cartel got busted? For every time they do a drug bust, that they're trying to get drugs in the United States, you see the drugs, and what do you see? Piles of millions of dollars. So
Right.
even the US dollar have been used for drugs. So any kind of money, currency, paintings, or whatever the
That's what
value
I say. Yeah.
is used, for drugs. So it's not necessarily um, just because it's crypto. Obviously, that's the hottest thing, going on right now. The other thing that she texts me, and it's kind of like just talking back the same thing, uh, that some countries were not that regulated. And so yesterday in her conversation, she sent me this photo that in Korea, remember this is South Korea, the
Yeah.
government is getting more stricter. So they
Right.
have, loose rules. And at least thanks to the United States, they're going slowly. And like you say, Binance and a couple other organizations, have some certain regulations. So in Korea right now, they're getting more stricter with crypto because it's kind of like the Wild West, do whatever you want. So now it says here that stricter crypto regulations, South Korea financial authorities to set stricter regulations on cryptocurrency, and which is really good for the industry. You know,
Yeah.
and do you
Yeah.
agree?
It can't be. I think some regulation is needed for mass adoption. Um, for sure. I'm definitely more of a free market kind of person, right? I think at the end of the day, if you want to learn something, watch podcasts like ours. There's numerous ones out there. Like you want to entrench yourself in that knowledge, right? You don't need someone to, protect you per se, right? If you got the knowledge, right? Do you need a regulation that says wear your helmet to ride your bike, your knee pads, your elbow pads, and jeans, so that you don't get scratched, when you fall on the bike, right? Do you need a speed limit for riding a bicycle in a parking lot, right? Like you can do too much regulation where it's like, where's my common sense, right? Where is my desire to learn how to navigate the space? So
Like
there
wear
is
your
a
COVID mask. Never mind, that's too political. The COVID mask. Let's not get into the COVID mask.
um,
I had to
so
throw
yeah, so
something
that
in there.
I was like, yeah, we don't want to go down that. We don't want to get demonetized before we even can get monetized, right? But so yeah, that's my take with the regulation. I think you can go too far, but we do need it. It is coming. The question is, what will it look like? And I think that's huge. Uh, that's think about it this way with the gold, right? During the gold rush, when everyone was, flocking to the West in the US to seek gold in California, Oregon, and all these other states that had gold, right? There was no regulation. Think about how many people got their gold stolen, how many people got their uh, equipment stolen, to mine for gold. There was no like price exchange ratio of what blah blah blah. It was just a free for all, right? And I don't think that's good either, right? We're a civilized society. We should be making progress. It shouldn't be necessarily just survival of the fittest, right? So there needs to be some kind of regulation. I think of like that, right? And now you have pawn shops that you could trade gold for. You have an exchange where the price, that gold is trading at. Like you have some kind of like uniform way of handling that, right? So that's what I think of. I think regulations come pure. You shouldn't be scared of it. But with the power of your vote, you should be not necessarily looking at particular party lines. You should be looking at policies, right? What policy does this person believe in? Not, oh, they are this party, so I'm going to vote this way. So I'm definitely a bigger I vote by policy, not by party line. That's as closest to politics as I'll get on this podcast.
No comments in here. My lips are sealed.
So vote with your mind. Don't vote with people just telling you what to vote for because it's the way you've always voted. Vote for what policy does that person believe in. Because you can, my biggest fear, and this goes right into the next topic of the recent downturn. My biggest fear is that the US overregulates and therefore they hinder what crypto can do and what things it can make better. And they hinder the technology and the advancement while other countries embrace it, right? And if they embrace it and we fall behind, imagine if the US fell behind in the internet, right? Or fell behind in different, industrial revolution. They didn't, another country did that. You would have a different world order, right? We wouldn't be number one. We wouldn't be number two. We wouldn't have reserve currency. You would have none of these freedoms that we love to have today that we take for granted if we don't adopt technology. So I think you got to be really, really careful about hindering the technology. It is here. It's like a cockroach. You can't kill it. It doesn't care what border you're in. I can send money to someone anywhere in the world right now for fractions of a penny with no middleman, no bank involved, no third party telling me, yes, you can, no, you can't. I can send it right to someone in a trustless way, right? And that's just huge. It's just like you're sending your email. You can send your email to anybody. Now you can send your money to anybody. So you're never putting this technology back in a box. The real question is the US and other bigger countries going to embrace it, or are they going to try to control it? And then they're going to be dealing with other countries that are waiting for their chance to get to the number one spot and compete. And those countries, they're going to embrace it because their people have to embrace it. Because they don't have the banking system we have. We take for granted that we can open up accounts easily. Other countries don't have that. So I see a crazy world, and it's going to be interesting. And crypto is a way for you to invest into that future. So that's my 2 cents on that regulation piece, and the things that I was thinking about with the people I was running into.
So you want to go out definitely to CoinMarketCap. So, okay, commercially is over. Hopefully my son is back. I'm quite sure he went to the restroom, to the bathroom. I don't know why what happened to him. That he had to pay for internet. I cannot hear you right now. So you probably have those iPads that you got for free, I think you told me. I still cannot hear you. Your audience cannot hear you.
Oh, there you
go.
So maybe. You hear me now?
Oh, gee, I was about to start talking, son. Yes, they can hear you now.
What was the last thing I said?
I don't think we were paying attention. We were falling asleep. We were talking about, we don't want to fall behind. Nobody wants to fall behind as far as the technology is concerned and the crypto. So when we go back to the video and review it, they will know what they're saying. But I think we finished it in a good note and we can move forward to the next subject. Because a lot of the stuff about it being a little bit too technical, for them and whatnot, as far as not falling behind. So right now, at least they got the basic and why is it the United States and regulation is good, but over regulation is not that good either. You have to find in the middle point. That's what you were trying to say. And that's what we all got.
Absolutely. Okay, so the recent downturn. So there's been blood on the streets over the last couple of days. Right. What's some of the things that you've done in your research to kind of see why, or what's your opinions on it? What's some things that the audience needs to know about this recent downturn?
Yeah, before I tell you real quickly, I just wanted the audience so we can have full what they call disclosure here, right? Because this is what the package is supposed to be in that sense. Also, we don't want to just hype a thing up because remember, we don't get no money because you get into crypto, right? So we just want the education, just like I was educated about the crypto world.
Other than our links,
huh?
Other than our referral links, please use the referral links.
There you go. Make sure you use the referral link. Now you made me forget what I was going to say. Oh, what I wanted to say before I went into that portion is, for full disclosure, that we're here to show you, what we're doing and what not. So if you remember the first episode, everything was going to the moon, right? And we were happy at my account in crypto, in which I started the crypto account sometime in early February, was that day of the episode when everything was going up was roughly about close to 60% my account. So today, as we speak, before we started the podcast and I wrote the numbers, so my account right now is still at 26%. So I'm still good to go. So if I was to liquidate all my account from February at 26% profits, hey, not a bad deal. Of course, I would have been happy at 60%, but I'm not worried about it. But the important things, or the things that we are talking right now, and let me slow down. I tend to go too fast when I'm talking about my 60+% profits, and now on paper is 26%, right? Which is still good.
Right.
What I was trying to say is a good transition to go to what you just asked. First, the first episode, we were all happy about it. And now on this one, things seems to be tanking. If you just came into the crypto world, a lot of people that are out there that just came into it and they were just in the high buying everything they can find, right now they will probably be crying or sad or trying to close the account right away and actually lose money if they were to panic at this moment in time. Now, in my case, I didn't panic. I went and actually bought some coins. Yeah, yesterday was, yeah, because
Which one
remember,
did you
crypto you can
buy?
buy even on the weekend, huh?
Which ones did you buy?
I bought what did I buy? I bought Doge coin.
Of
I actually
course.
bought Doge coin right now. Well, I'm looking at it. Can you look at what price is right now? And I'll tell you what I bought it for.
Yeah, Doge right
Actually,
now is
we're at
trading
27
at
cents.
39 cents, for almost 40 cents right now.
Yeah, it's been hovering within the 40 cents. I bought it at,
Yeah.
I bought Dogecoin at 0.27 cents. Then I also bought more Bitcoin
Bitcoin's
when
on
it was.
sale right now.
I bought it when it was 56,300. Now remember, guys, when you buy Bitcoin, my sister also asked me this question. Oops, I should have said my sister. I don't want to embarrass it. Actually, it wasn't my sister. It was actually my other brother. They
You have
have
a
the
lot of
impression.
sisters. I have a lot
Yeah,
of
no,
aunts.
like, I got my brother. No, actually, my brother, when I told that I bought some Bitcoin, right, yeah, the other day when it did, he said, you bought a one full coin of $55,000.
Right.
I said, no, 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 no. That's a good thing that you asked that question. I said, when you buy crypto, you also can buy in fractions. So in other words, Bitcoin might be $55,000, but you actually can put $100 and just buy a fraction of that crypto.
Right.
So now, of course, if Dogecoin was 27 cents, I bought like 1,400 Dogecoin, with the money that I put in
Right.
at 27 cents. So I had to explain to him the difference. So later on, we will explain when we're doing the video with my sister exactly what it means by fractional and why still buying Bitcoin, regardless with 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, 80,000, is still a good idea. We can talk about that later. So I bought Doge, Bitcoin, and also Harmony, the one ONE. I bought it at 12 cents. And actually, I think Harmony is down, I believe, and also Bitcoin from the point that I bought it.
Right.
And the one that is to the moon, that I should put all that money into it. It should have been Dogecoin. You know what happened to Dogecoin? I believe, in my opinion, is happening exactly what was happening to AMC and GameStop. But anyway, not to deviate from the subject.
Not to
So
speculate too much.
yeah, a lot of stuff. So I put some in there because I do believe that it's going to continue to go higher, and I'm for the ride. No big deal. Um,
Yeah.
so
You
what was the question?
you said something about not buying Bitcoin in full, right? And I think that's the
Fractional.
important thing. Yeah, that's the important thing to put an exclamation point behind, right? The little denominations that add up to the one Bitcoin, they're called Satoshi, right? So, or Sats for short. They're like your penny. Are you frozen? Oh no,
I'm
okay.
not frozen.
Okay, cool. All right, it was like a mannequin challenge. I was
no,
like,
no,
oh, I'm
no,
gonna lose him again.
no, no.
Every time I get technical on the channel, I lose you.
Okay.
Literally. um, but no, yeah. So there's satoshis, right? So there is 100 million satoshis that equal one Bitcoin. So you don't have to buy one Bitcoin and spend $50,000-$60,000 depending the day. You can buy, like my dad said, $100 worth of Bitcoin, and you're going to end up with a certain amount of satoshis. I'm actually going to be pulling up the Coinbase account because they have an easy way to. It shows it quickly how much satoshis I would get for $100. So basically, Bitcoin trading at 54,721 right now. If I was to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, what that would look like in satoshis is it would look like 176,278 satoshis, right? So this idea that, and that's a really common misconception, that you have to buy one whole Bitcoin. And I think that's what stops a lot of new crypto investors from buying Bitcoin, is they think they have to buy the whole one. And that's not true by any stretch of the imagination. So $100 worth of Bitcoin would get you 176,278 satoshis if you did it this moment on Coinbase. So that's something to think about.
Cool, very cool, very cool. Now, what was your initial question you asked me about market sentiment? Did you ask me about something about what's the negative, or what did I read as far as news?
Yeah. So what's some of the reasons why it was downturn? Like, I know you did a little research on that. So what's some of the reasons that people were saying for the downturn that's not too technical? Because there was some technical ones out there. But then also, what's your thoughts behind it? Your general thoughts about it?
Okay, the primary thing that I heard, right, on why the crypto market is going down. And by the way, not only the crypto market was down today, believe it or not, also the regular stock market, the S&P
traditional market?
500, the regular market was also down today. Well, how do I know? Because I also do trading of options during the day. And then I did make a little bit money on my regular options. That's for another podcast. So that one was also down. Anyway, so it was down on that market. So I just wanted to mention in general, the whole market as a whole was down, including the crypto. But the primary reason I heard about why Bitcoin and the market was down, it was regarding the massive power outage in China.
Mm.
You heard about that?
Yep. Yeah, that was the one that was technical. With the hash rate going down.
Yeah. And then the other one, is I always hear about the whales. Whales, I'm assuming, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Whales in the crypto market means that somebody that has a lot of Bitcoin or a lot of currency coins, and once they start dumping, those coins, right? Whether it's Bitcoin, obviously that makes the price of Bitcoin to go down because they're actually offloading all that Bitcoin that they had. And a lot of times my perception of it, correct me if I'm wrong, my perception is, for example, Bitcoin was going to the moon, right?
Right.
And how much, what was the height that he reached? I think it was like 60.
I want to say 64 something, but I can tell you in 2 seconds. It hit a high of 64,896.
Okay, so as soon as
on
he hit
Coinbase.
right. So as soon as he hit that amount, it looks to me that every time Bitcoin hits a really high amount, right, at a certain point, a lot of times I understand that a lot of the whales start dumping, getting profits, right? They sell it because, hey, we reached 65,000. Let me sell some of my Bitcoins and I got money. And that makes the price go down. So I heard that there was a massive dump of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency by people that hold a lot of those coins. And then that makes the market go down. So those are the primary two things that I heard. So
yeah, so
oh, and by the way, I'm turning time out.
Yeah.
And I believe because this happened also with the regular market sometimes, right? That as soon as they hear, they just had bad news in China, these miners where they, mining for Bitcoin, they just lost power. And oh my God, they're supposed to be, according to this article, it says here this area represents nearly 1/4 of the global hash rate. And somebody reads something like that, like what you said earlier about the FTC maybe cracking down for corruption on crypto, plus
Treasury, U.S. Treasury.
the
Yeah.
U.S. Treasury, then I believe also now the little guy say, oh, let me sell my Bitcoin, and they start selling the Bitcoin.
Right.
What they call it, not the institutional guys, but people like the retail guys like us start selling it. And then that, of course, made the crypto even go even farther down. The same thing that happened with the stock market. That's not personal advice; it's my personal opinion.
Right. So I'll address the harder one first, the technical one. Thing that makes crypto or makes Bitcoin specifically resilient is that it runs on so many computers across the globe. Are there more countries that make it more easier or make it more viable to be a miner and run these huge computer farms to mine Bitcoin at a cheaper rate because the cost of electricity is really cheap, or even gets subsidized by the country itself? Yes. Yeah. And that's why you'll have a lot of people that mined in China, because it's cheaper there, right? Just like the reason why we get a lot of our clothes and a lot of electronics done there because of the cheap labor. It's the same thing for electricity. And electricity is crucial. It's critical to computers running, right? And computers is critical to mining the Bitcoin. Right. So, and like I said, I'm giving you a really high level of that reason, to not make it too technical. But if China just shut everyone down, right? And this one I think is more of a what is it called? Like a natural disaster, like a landslide or something like that happened that affected a province in China that had a big thing. Yeah, I was doing a little research on it, and that was the case. It wasn't the government cracking down; it was actually a natural disaster.
Okay, disaster.
Right. So that would be a temporary problem, right? So it wouldn't be a permanent thing. If they shut down, now let's say the government actually shut down all the miners. They said, forget Bitcoin. We're not letting you do it in our country, blah, blah, blah. Well, every country would have to coordinate and shut everyone down at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. And like the internet, the minute it comes back, guess what? Your Bitcoin's there again. Mm-hmm. It's a resilient network that you can never shut down unless you're willing to live in the Stone Age. Right? So I just want to put people at ease when it comes to that aspect of a country shutting it down and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to get into a specific example in the next segment. But that's one thing to consider with that. A high level reason for the price temporarily going down is the hash rate, which is basically the speed of blocks being produced, right? So as I send transactions to someone sends transactions to me, I buy more crypto in the exchange, I do this, that, and the other. Those transactions are getting put into blocks. And that rate of which the blocks being produced is what's called the hash rate. Okay. So it's a very simple explanation. That's as simple as I can make it. That's pretty much all you need to know. Just like the internet, you don't know how the internet runs, right? But you know it works. It's the same thing with crypto. Now, I still encourage you to learn as much as you can, you want to, but again, you're not asking yourself how the email gets sent to the other person, which servers it hits, what protocol it's using. We're not asking these questions, right? We're just using email, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the same concept with crypto. Okay, so that was the first reason. The second one, which was the whales dumping. No, the whales dumping. Two things come to mind, and one came to mind right now when you were saying it. It's like the IPO. So
Coinbase, for example.
We can use Coinbase being the most recent, but every single IPO. Yeah. So that's one that I have to go into a little bit, right? Because I know IPO is a technical term for the stock market, traditional market. So IPO
initial public. Initial public offering. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it stands for initial public offering. That's basically a company going from private to public, right? And the reason why the price for most of those companies that they go public, they shoot up to the moon, and before the end of the day, sometimes the price is like way down, right? And it's because those people that have been working for that company, the investors that were investing in the company prior to it going public, they hold all these shares. And when they go to the public, and now the normal person, your everyday folks can go on the stock exchange and buy their stocks, they're buying the prices, and since there's so much buying pressure, the price is going up. And when it hits like euphoria phase, that's when all the whales that own all these stocks, they go, I'm an instant millionaire. Let me sell
I'm
all
selling
of
it.
these. Right. And then the price starts going down because now the selling pressure is down. This is nothing new, right? Just because it's crypto doesn't mean that you have to freak out, right?
I know I would have been selling. If I would have bought Bitcoin when it was $2, $3, $10, right now we would be millionaires. I'd be selling right now.
Right. And this is why I truly believe in not messing with the market, because as whales are selling, if the people are being educated in what Bitcoin is, like the store of value concept, is it depreciated?
Digital gold.
Digital gold, right? Your dollars are buying less and less, right? There is inflation, but not in your consumer goods, not in your food necessarily. I mean, there is a little bit, but not crazy amounts, right? They're not expensive. It's not super expensive to buy a car compared to what it was, 2 months ago, right? Like there's little pockets of price going up and down, but nothing crazy. But in assets, there is hyper inflation going on, right? Tesla going like this, right? Bitcoin doing the same thing. Like all things assets, real estate prices going. Now, real estate is really local, right? It really depends what neighborhood you're in, what city you're in, etc. But overall, real estate's going, right? Gold was going hot for a little bit. It's kind of cooled down. But all these assets are in hyperinflation, compared to your dollar. So your dollar's buying less house today than it did 10 years ago. So it's not that your home went up in value, it's that your dollar lost value, So that's a concept that's a whole podcast in itself, but that's what I think of whenever I see like, okay, whales dumping. Yeah, they're taking their profits. But if you're a smart consumer, if you're a smart little guy, you'd be praying for these days so that you can buy Bitcoin at $50,000, right? That's a bargain compared to buying it at 70,000. But the problem is most retail investors, when it hits 70,000, they're gonna go, I need to get in now. I need to get in now. You don't buy on a green day. You buy on a red day,
right?
If you can. Yeah. So yesterday, I'm glad when you told me that you bought stuff. I was like, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Because I went on a shopping spree during the bloodbath that's been going on. I bought a couple thousand. I bought like $2,800, and I have another $1,000 waiting for it to hit another price. So $3,800, and that's roughly what I save every month from my guaranteed income sources.
Now, right? With that said, though, with that said, we're not saying go ahead and buy just because things are dropping, because we not us.
We don't know where the bottom is.
Right, we don't know what the bottom is, and even though we know what the news are, right, that might have caused this issue, we also understand, with time, you tend to understand that, yeah, those issues might have caused the price of Bitcoin to drop and the currencies, including Turkey, right, that you're going to mention later on about Turkey.
Right.
And then what happens is when people panic and everybody starts selling, sometimes it could create even a further drop, even bigger,
right,
than the news. Like they keep playing houses on fire and everybody start running out of the door, out of the door right away, but really there was no fire, but everybody still keep running and running and running, and then realize, there was no fire. So it's something similar. Now, I'm not sure if I wanted to show an article. I don't know if you want to do that real quickly, kind of like similar to what we were saying.
You want to share your screen?
I guess if you allow me to share, I guess I can share real quickly that Cointelegraph.
All right, I just sent it. I just passed it your way. So
Okay.
let's see if you got the tech side of things
Got
down.
this. All right.
Whoop.
Let me know if you're able to see it.
Yep, I'm looking at a Cointelegraph screen.
Yeah. So if you look at this article now, remember this happened April 17th. This article. Today is April the 20th. So things changes all the time. Now, guys, if you don't mind, this Cointelegraph is a good source of information regarding things related to crypto. So real
I'm
quickly,
looking at
Ron, not to,
YouTube.
huh?
I'm looking at YouTube right now, not
Oh,
Cointelegraph anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me change the screen real quickly again to something here. All right, there you go. Give me 1 second. Okay, what about now?
Still the same.
Still the same?
Yeah, still showing YouTube. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Okay, yeah, it's kind
Perfect.
of like a little delay. All right, so you're looking at I'm sorry, Cointelegraph?
Yeah, I'm looking at Cointelegraph.
Okay, good. All right, so if you look at this article, right, it was labeled Bitcoin dips under 60,000, was pulling down Bitcoin prices. So just in general terms, you mentioned a little bit right here, right? If you want to read it, I guess, or what I was saying before. I just lost my train of thought.
Well, Bitcoin dips under 60,000 was pulling down BTC price, and now I see a graph.
Yeah, but right now you should be able to you're able to see there it says a Coinbase public listing brought significant attention to the cryptocurrencies market.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it marked
And
the
then of
first
course,
public listing of a major cryptocurrency exchange, leading to high institutional demand. As a result, the cryptocurrency market rallied, leading up to the listing, with BTC price hitting a new all-time high above 64,000, which is what we went over a little earlier today, right? It went up. And then, however, it was almost expected to see Bitcoin and Ether drop after the fact, considering the tendency of cryptocurrencies to sell off after a major event. And this is a saying that people say in the crypto space all the time. You buy the rumor and you sell the news, right? So a lot of times when you're hearing things on the main media, the main news outlets, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, I don't care, all of them, right? You are getting the news. It's too late. Okay. It already made the news. It's done. You want to always buy the rumor and sell the news, right? So that's why I always try to listen. Like, I don't even listen to major media anymore. When I do, it's just to get a little like glimpse into what the 95% of people are listening to, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, they're 1 month behind. That's good, So
yeah. And another thing, I think another thing that is important when people read news like this, always remember, if you are now, of course, many of you guys may not be into the crypto world yet, but always remember, never buy anything if you are uncomfortable. Never get into the market if you are uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to wait till the dust, settle, especially when you're brand new into it, because exactly what we're talking right now, something that you have to understand it first, because you don't want to jump into it just because there are positive news. You have to understand what's going on. In this case, the market sentiment is kind of like negative, and it's making the prices go down. Now people that are used to pullbacks are able to buy more, but at the same time we are being cautious. We're not buying the same, we're being cautious, and we read the news, see what's going on, because it might be another deeper pullback. And sometimes, believe it or not, it's kind of like double-edged sword. Part of me sometimes is like, man, I cannot wait till it go even lower, because I wanted to buy it at $34,000 when I first came in. And I remember my son, Ronald was telling me, oh no, that 34,000, oh man, those days are gone. So when I saw 50,000, I was like happy. I was like, oh yeah, fine, I see $50,000 again. So even right now, I kind of wish that it goes to 40, honestly, because I would like to pick up some Bitcoin at 40 myself.
Yeah.
And for the new guys that are looking into getting into crypto, believe me, you wish that that thing crashed to 30,000 right now. Now, people like me, I'll be like, oh man, 30,000. Oh, yeah, my account looking lower. You know, my 26% that I'm in is probably going to look like 0%. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I can switch it back to you.
Yeah, yeah, if you want to make me the host again, that's fine. Yeah, so I started buying Bitcoin around 6,000. I started buying Bitcoin at 6,000. Yeah, if it goes down, if it ever goes down 6,000, I'm going even harder than I went the first time, right? So I say that because I can only do that if I didn't go all in, right? I eased my way in. So it's, I know how we talked about in the last podcast, like, man, I wish I would have just bought a whole bunch of this at one time and I would have been sitting pretty. The truth is, you don't know what the future really holds, right? And I made the comment that all investing is gambling. You're sharing screen again, by the way. I don't know if you meant to do that.
Oh, yeah. Did I start it before? Okay.
Right, there you go. Now we're in the normal view. So if you want to make me the host again.
Okay, I'm a rookie, I guess. You have to
go on my frame and hit the 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots and then you'll see make host. I can actually do it too. Oh wait, no, I think you made me. Yeah, you made me a host now. I see it.
Okay.
All right, cool. You made me lose my train of thought. No, what was I saying? Oh yes. So I wish it would go down to the price that I bought it at. I would be going even harder in, right? And I can only do that if I didn't go all in. And in the last podcast, we talked about, what? I wish I would have just went all in. I would have been a million. But the truth is, you don't know where it's going to go. I believe Bitcoin is going to what the major financial institutions are saying and what other people are saying that's been in the crypto space a long time. And they look at the charts, they're looking at the stock to flow model. They got all these models. Okay, you can get super complicated in this space. At the end of the day, everyone thinks it's going to the right and up, right? And it's going to hit 150, 300,000, $1 million in 10 years. They think it's going to do that. And I believe that, but I don't know when. I don't know how many drops are going to happen, right? And I did a little research prior to today's podcast to share this. Even in the 2017 bull run, there was at least five major pullbacks, right? And 2017 is important because that's when the price hit its peak at the time of just below 20,000. And then it went into a bear market, which basically a bull market is when things are going up and a bear market is when things are going down. And when Bitcoin hit that top of just below 20,000, it entered a 2-year bear market of constantly going down. Yeah, it went up, it would go down. It would go up and go down. Basically, it was setting a lower high and a lower low, right? So in the graph, it's coming down, it hits a lower low, it goes up, but it hit a lower high, and then it went down again and hit another lower low. And it just kept doing that for the next 2 years, right? Generally speaking. So there was a bear market. Bitcoin leading up to that 20,000 though, had 5 major pullbacks ranging between 29% and 40%. So today or this week, this last couple of days of it having a blood in the streets, right? Blood in the streets is another trading term that means everyone's losing money, getting liquidated, all that kind of stuff. Like they're losing money if they're leveraging, they're borrowing money to invest. All this kind of stuff. People are losing money, right? They're selling when they shouldn't sell, So when there's days like this, could it be the end? There's a real possibility that it could be an end for a while. But if you look at the history of the space, it has grown if you let it ride. This is why, personally speaking, I will trade short term on certain occasions and with certain coins, but I generally tend to hold things longer because I have conviction of where the space is going. but you never want to go all in, because if you're wrong and it goes down, you want to have money to be able to go back in, you know? So real quick on this point, guys, if you're, I know we normally, say an hour, but the conversation is just flowing and it's going good. But I want to take a quick second to remember to tell the audience to, if you're loving this content and you're learning, please like the video. We want more people to get this video. We want more people to, kind of see the work that we're putting in and the value that we're adding. So please like the video, share it with someone. I encourage you to get your family, friends involved. Like, the more people you have around you that's talking, bringing you articles, bringing you ideas, the more knowledge you're having, that's going to help you stay the path. And then subscribe to the channel as well, right? So thank you so much,
hit
guys.
the bell.
Yeah.
And hit the bell so you can be notifications
Yep.
so when the next one comes out.
Right. So we'll move right along just because, due to the time. But remember, just main message, don't go all in, because if you go all in and it drops 26%, you're going to have to look at your account at a lower value dollar-wise than what it was. And you won't have the funds to get back to add more to it at a cheaper price, right? So that's my word of advice. That's from what I've learned, in my opinion, and the things that in the route that I chose to take. You are free to do whatever you want. That's just my advice. All right. So next topic was Turkey. So we're going to go right into Turkey. Turkey is an example of what we call, another crypto term, FUD. You know what FUD stands for?
No, you can tell me. And I really don't know.
Yeah, I was passing it to you because I kind of forgot for a second, but I remember now.
No, I was getting hungry. I thought it was something to eat. So
yeah, chocolate FUD, right? Hey, that's what it feels like sometimes. No, but FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Fear, uncertainty,
and doubt. So the news with Turkey is basically saying that they're going to ban crypto. And I don't expect the audience to be an expert on Turkey. I don't claim to be an expert on Turkey, but their currency is taking a severe hit, right? Their purchasing power is going down so fast, right? And it's due, and a lot of people, because of that, are choosing to adopt cryptos, right? Not only just Bitcoin, there's other ones, but they're adopting assets that they can trade for goods and services. And they're doing it because if they held on to their, which I believe there's the Libra, so they're holding on to the Libra. It's not like our dollar is like a melting ice cube, right? Like, 10 years ago, you can't buy the same house, but you can still buy groceries with your money, so you're good. Over there, it's not a melting ice cube. It's their money's on fire. It's disintegrating, right? So the people there, to hold on to their assets, they're buying things that can hold their value. Even I saw one thing that they're buying a bike, because the bike holds more value than the money in the bank account, right? So one of the strategies that the country is doing, or at least this story is suggesting, and again, the rumor, right? Remember, you buy the rumor, you sell the news. But one of the rumor is that people are investing into a lot of cryptocurrency in the country to try to get a hold and make their currency, create the demand for their currency, or restricting the supply. They're trying to ban the thing that people are flocking to, right? Now, there's a history of many countries trying to do this. The thing with crypto does not care what border you're in. If you have an internet connection, you can have crypto, right? And so what we're finding is that there's usually, whenever a story like this comes out, there's a dip that goes pretty hard and pretty fast. But then the rebound is so much greater. It's kind of like the alcohol. Remember when there was prohibition? And well, not that you would remember, even though you did claim to be 1912. In the last podcast.
That's right. I remember those days. I remember back in the day.
So I don't know if you remember prohibition, but I'll give the brief thing is that price of alcohol just went. I mean, alcohol just went underground. it still existed. It just went underground. And that's what's happening in some of these countries that are, thinking about banning crypto. They're making it harder for their people to buy it. But at the same time, their normal traditional financial system is crumbling. Therefore, their people are choosing to go against those bans and stuff like that, right? So that was the story with the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that. I wanted to get through that for sure.
Yeah, one of the things that I remember, I think I was talking to my sister, in regarding the first podcast, and this kind of goes to this one again. The good thing about this podcast is sometimes could be boring, right? All this stuff. A lot of people is like, hey, I just want to get into buying Bitcoin, making money, and all this other stuff. So, but we're making this podcast a little bit more in depth as far as even going through this thing about Turkey, China, and whatnot. The negative side is because we believe that if you are going to be investing into crypto, we want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're getting into, for the long term, and that you are going to have fluctuations or swings, upswings or downswings, and sometimes they can be very drastically. Just like I shared with you that on Sunday, on Sunday or about 2 or 3 days ago, my account was over about 60% profits, and today is about 26% profits.
I won't,
We're
I
still
won't
good.
tell you how much. I won't tell you how much the blood hurt me.
Well, I'm quite sure the public wants to know that, Ronald. You can tell it before the podcast finished.
I almost
So,
want to
but the
put that in a
important,
thumbnail.
the thumbnail,
Negative six figures.
okay, negative six figure. Oh my goodness. I think they don't want to hear what I gotta say. They want to hear what you want to say when they hear negative six figures.
They're like, I don't want to.
But
I don't want to do this no more. I don't care what you say anymore.
that's it, right?
I
But I
know.
think important, I think it's important for our audience and the audience out there to know is that, yeah, it sounds boring, this type of topic, but it is important to know this stuff because when you start investing in crypto and you wonder why things are swinging one way or the other, eventually you have determined what type of investor trader you might become in the crypto. Are you going to be the one, let's say like me right now, for example, I could easily say, you know what, I hit 60% in my account profits, I'm cashing liquidate on my account, I'm cashing it now, and that's it, I'm out and over, and I'm going to wait for the dip and come back in. And there are many, many, many traders out there or investors in crypto that does exactly what I just said. And there are other ones that will do this. Okay, let's say, for example, my account was about over 60% a couple of days ago. Now it's 26%. There will be some out there say, you know what? Before my 26 becomes zero or a negative on paper, I'm going to cash right now. And I had done that plenty of times dealing with stocks and options before, just to turn around and buy it at a more expensive price. So, and then of course, eventually you're going to figure out whether you are going to be the trader that, you know what, when the market is high and my profit is still high, and when the bear market comes over, I'm still going to be holding into some of my Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency because I'm here for 10, 20, 30 years, especially if you are 20 years old, right?
Right.
So if that happened to be the case, you eventually have to determine what type of trader you are in. And by us sharing with you even this negative news or rumor news or these
For
things
our
that are called
experiences.
wells or experiences that we have had or experiences that are out there, I think that at the end it makes you a better trader or a better investor in crypto, that you knowing that you're going to go through these, upswings and whatnot. So eventually when you decide to take the plunge like some of my brothers are doing right now, that hey, how do you set up this account? Hey, hold on, let me hold you by a leash. Don't jump yet. Let me explain to you what could happen,
Right.
and that way he can make a better decision. That's the overall goal. So that's what I wanted to add as far as everything that we are talking right now before we
I think this is
conclude.
perfect time to like kind of go briefly into the dynamics of us, right? Like, you're more of a trader, I'm more of a long term. I have done what you said successfully and unsuccessfully. And when I say unsuccessfully, it doesn't mean I didn't make money. It just means that I bought something at 14 cents. It went up to $1.45. I sold, and it went down to $1.30. And I thought it was going to go down further so I could buy more, but instead it goes up to $3.70. So I was smart at selling at $1.45 for a moment.
Yeah.
But then since I sold all the chips, I took all the chips off the table for that asset. I missed out on the ride.
Yeah.
So that's something, that I learned from my experience, right? Like, don't ever sell everything. Sell it, in portions, right? So that way, in case it goes to, past the moon and hits the next planet, I still have something in it, right? And the other dynamic is, you were like, hey, you know what? I'm going to call you when I want to sell, because the trader in me is ready to take profits all day, every day in this 24/7, 365 market. I'm ready to sell, and we know during specific hours that it tends to go up like crazy, and it tends to be weekends at like 1 a.m. when we're talking.
Right.
and the market's going bananas, So, and you're just there sitting on the trigger thing, right? And sometimes it's appropriate to sell some of it. We kind of,
depending what the goal is, depending what the goal of that individual person is, what
the individual person, the asset that you're holding. Like, is this one that you're just waiting for a pump so you can earn more and then move it into something you have a longer term, you have more of a conviction for the longer term. So there's different strategies. We're not trying to make you do a strategy. We're trying to give you the knowledge to create your own. And this is something that we do, me and my dad. Like, he'll be like, I need to sell this. I'm like, okay, you're going to sell. That's fine. But you're not selling all of it. You're selling 25%. And if it goes up another 30%, then you're selling another 25%. And then if it goes up again, maybe another 25%, but then you're done, right? And that way you still have things in the game. And then the last point I want to say, when you said it was boring, let me tell you guys, if you have no money in the game, it is boring. You have nothing to win or lose. So I encourage you again to use the links below, get in the game. Don't go all in right now, because we don't know where the bottom is. Things aren't as hot as they were even a couple days ago, right? But don't go all in. Get in the game though, because honestly, that's gonna make you go, hey, how's my portfolio? How do I even track my portfolio? We have so much knowledge, so much information for years worth of podcasts, to be honest with you. But just get in the game. That's gonna get you going. Leave comments below on the video so that we can say, hey, you know what? That's a topic we need to bring up. Forget the topic we were going to talk about. The people want this, and we want to give what the people want to hear, right?
Real quickly, what you said that night, it reminded me of something that I do also, even when it was a stock market. Now, I do not hold stocks. I'm pretty much a trader when it comes in the stock market.
And I hold stocks, guys. Just so you know, even though I am crypto, I have a lot of money in stocks. I just don't trade it. I hold it for the long term as well.
Yeah, I only hold a few. Primarily, I'm more like a trader doing options and whatnot. But what I wanted to say was, like what my son just said right now, to get the feet wet. Once that you establish an account and all that sort of stuff, what I used to do before with stocks is like just to get a feeling for that specific stock to see how it works. What I would do is I would buy one stock, one share. You know what I'm saying? So in crypto, now when we mean don't buy one Bitcoin, right? Huh?
Yeah, everyone's different, right? So put enough that you care, right? Because in crypto, you buy one Doge, you're talking 10 cents.
It's not going to make a difference. Yeah, you're not going to see the difference.
Right. Don't put life-changing amounts, but put, a little something to get your appetite,
Right. Well,
I was thinking Shark Tank. Remember Mark Cuban? He was like, I'm not investing in that. Like, you're asking for 100,000. I need to put $1 million for me to care. Right.
Yeah.
Well, just reverse engineer that. Just go like, you know what? I'm going to invest $100 or $1,000, whatever is going to make me care, but not make me cry.
Yeah. Now, for me personally, even if I had the money, I would put, let's say, In crypto, it's a little bit different than stock because in stock you see one share, $10, $50, $100. So in crypto, let's say put $50 on one specific crypto, whatever the price of the crypto, because you can buy it fractionally. But then you put 50 or 25 or something, at least a couple of coins that at least you see what we mean, how it works. You're able to track it, and then eventually, you start more comfortable, and then you start getting more involved. One more quick thing around that I wanted to throw in there, and I know that we probably can do it in the episode that we're going to do with my sister. And by the way, we're not tax advisors, we're not CPAs and whatnot. But one of the things that I really wish that somebody would have told me that when I first got involved in the stock market, um, it was taxes. And what happens is, and I see a lot of my friends right now, you make $100, $200, $3,000, and everybody's happy. But because you never, ever, ever had traded before, you had never bought stocks before, you never bought crypto
Bought or sold
before,
real estate, flip properties.
or flipping properties, buy a car or sell a car, eventually, especially with stocks, and especially with crypto, at the end of the year for tax year, you are going to get a statement of how much money you have traded it. Okay. And so eventually you will be responsible for paying taxes for that money. And now I'm not a CPA and a tax advisor. I cannot really tell you, what the percentage that you should be putting away. So I'm just going to throw a number out there. But the most important thing that I want you to get out of this thing is that when you start making money and cashing it and then you spend it, one day that tax bill is going to come to you when you do your taxes, and you're going to wonder why you owe more taxes than before. So my personal suggestion to you guys, once that you start investing into stocks or crypto and you have cashed in, remember, it's only when you have realized the profit, not because on paper says $90,000, is when you went and cashed those crypto and you made $100, $1,000, $100,000. Learn to separate the money. Now, I cannot tell you how to do it for yourself. I do it a different way. Like real estate. When I was in real estate with commissions, as soon as they pay me $3,000 in a commission for a house, I would separate whatever my tax bracket was, 25%, 35%, and it went into a separate savings account. So at the end of the year, when I had to pay my taxes for all those commissions, I already had the money. So if you look at it that way in crypto or in the stock market, just look at it almost like a part-time job. Now that's my personal opinion. So a part-time job, you went and cash it, and you got paid. You made $1,000 profit. Separate whatever your tax bracket might be, 25%, 35%, and separate the taxes. Put in a separate savings account. Don't do like I do. Sometimes I go and trade it back into the market.
Yeah,
Just put it apart. You put it in a separate account.
we talked about that a lot, right? That's actually one of the reasons why I hold long term, right? Is because why like it would have to have such a big correction for it to make sense for me to get back in without including tax money, right? So that's a big reason why I hold it. And then I just thought about it too. I use crypto tax trader, so I'm gonna make sure I put a link in the description below, so that way people can use it. I don't know if I have a referral link necessarily for that. I don't care. I'll have to put it on there. That way people can use it. It's something I really, really recommend. And that helps you like track it. And like I said, when we say we got information for like so many podcasts, so many topics, this is what we mean, right? Like we can do tutorials on how to use tax trader, crypto tax trader, all that kind of stuff. There's tutorials for days. So as you guys are interacting with us and you're putting comments below, that's going to help us prioritize what content needs to come out and what the people need to hear as soon as possible. So yeah, no, that's good stuff. And then the last thing, well, actually, I think it's actually a really good ending point. We're coming on an hour 30. We kind of briefly touched on the importance of Bitcoin and where it's going to solve, but we're really going to go into depth when we have my aunt Cassie on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. And then other than that, guys, happy investing, happy trading, and make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And that's all I got, Dad. I don't know if you want to close this out.
I just want to close it out with health before wealth. Make sure you go out there, do exercise. I try to do my best anyway. I'm a young age. So I might see you in the trails one of those days in hiking.
All
Health before
right.
wealth.
Good night, Soft Rex.
Good night,
fam.
everyone.
Love you, Dad.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.